little bit of trouble getting on here. Took me a little bit. I guess they changed their settings or something, and I kept trying to go live like this way, horizontal, and it kept saying change the rotation or something in advanced settings, and I'm like, what? I've never had to do that before. So I was like, maybe my phone's just not like registering that it's horizontal. So then I tried to like exit out and do it all over again, and it did the same thing. So then I figured it out. I had to go into advanced settings and literally change it to horizontal because it was in vertical. I don't even know, but I figured it out. It's been a long day. I got up at, well, I had my alarm set for 7, but I got up before 7 because my body's just used to getting up at like 6 something. Hey, Carmen. So I got up. I got my car all packed up with all of my epoxy and cups and creations and all that stuff. My table, my tent. Hey, Jess. Then my husband brought home some deer meat yesterday, so I had to throw 2 legs in a crock pot with some veggies and stuff and start that before I left the house. Then I went to, what time is it? Because it's almost 10 p.m. Yeah, it's almost 10 p.m. here too. Hey, Angel. Then I went to drop off a package at the post office, and then went to Wawa to get coffee for everybody and a breakfast sandwich, and then I had to meet my friend Jess, help her pack her car up, and then we went over to set up for the block party, which took us the entire time. So that was like 9:30 to 12 we were setting up, and then from 12 to 5 was the block party. Then at 5 we all packed up our cars, which it was me, my friend Jess, and my friend Heidi, and then Jess's son and his girlfriend, and we packed up in like record time. It took us like not even 20 minutes to pack up. Hey, Pam. Hey, Carissa. And thank you so much. Thank you, Carmen. But yeah, it was a really successful day. I remember the yard sale I set up for, I was really discouraged because I only made like $12, and then I spent it all on pizza. I think I spent more than $12 on pizza, so I spent all the money I made. But this time I made $166, and I handed out like 6 or 7 business cards. And then we got some flyers for other events coming up. So there is a Fall Fest on the 15th of next month that me and my friend Heidi, Jess hasn't decided whether she's going to go yet or not, but me and Heidi are going to do that together. Hey, Queen. I'm good. How are you? So yeah, it was a pretty awesome day. I was excited. And even though I don't know what it is, but every year around this time I get sick because of the weather fluctuating, and I even woke up with an awful cold this morning, and yesterday I had it too. But I didn't let that bother me. I had a really nice time. But yeah, I sold 4 of my tumblers there, and I did, one of my tumblers, someone accidentally knocked it onto the ground, and we weren't on grass. We were on, like, blacktop, the road. We were on the street, the road, and it's, like, blacktop gravel. And it clunked on the ground hard, and it cracked a piece of the bottom to the point where I have to fix it, and I don't know if it's going to look the same when I do fix it, so I may have to fix it and then discount it. But I know it was an accident, so I didn't have the heart to like be like, oh, you break it, you bought it kind of thing, because if it's truly an accident, and it wasn't like she was playing with it and it fell or something. She was looking at something and bumped it with her elbow, and it knocked onto the ground. So, but I was really polite, and I was like, no, it's okay, it's okay. But in my head, I was like panicking. I was like, oh my gosh. But, you know, stuff happens. So I'm going to try to fix it and move on. I hope you feel better soon. Thank you. I hope so too. I've been trying to kick this cold. I have been every day taking one of those little medicine cups, filling it up halfway with bee pollen, eating that every day. I have been taking shots of garlic vinegar, and then it wasn't yesterday, it was 2 days ago, I drank like this much of a glass of kombucha. That, it definitely cleared me out of toxins, but that did not sit well in my stomach at all. So I didn't drink any of that yesterday or today. It was hot here in Georgia, 83 degrees. Oh my goodness. Although, okay, it was not hot today. It was nice. It was pretty nice all day. I did wear my hoodie for part of the day, but then part of the day I was just in my t-shirt and I felt fine. And I'm out here right now in my t-shirt and it's in the 60s and I feel great. Like, I'm not cold or anything. But I don't know if it's tomorrow or Monday. It's supposed to get back up to the 70s again. And then by the end of the week, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's supposed to be like in the high 70s, almost 80. So we definitely had a false fall on our hands. What cups are you working on now? I'm going to be honest. I have 0 cups right now that I'm working on. I finished all the cups I needed to finish to send out, and I finished, well, no, I didn't. I finished the cup I was working on, the last cup I was working on to send out, a coffee, one of the coffee swirl cups with the caramel drip, and I finished all the tumblers I needed to finish for the block party, but I didn't start anything new because, I was a little overwhelmed with the block party coming up, so I was like, I'm just going to focus on that. And then once I'm done with the block party, I'm going to start working on things again. So I'm currently not working on any tumblers right now, but I'm going to start with some customer orders tomorrow. And I want to do a Ghostbusters cup. And I want to do, there was something else. man, I can't remember. Another Halloween themed. I'm trying to get Halloween. I might make another Scream one too, because I sold that one. I sold my second Scream one at the block party, and I sold my second Freddy one at the block party, so I might make another one of them too. But I want to be done with Halloween by the 15th and then start on Christmas. But currently, I just finished. I didn't put it together yet because I had just poured the second feathers yesterday. But I was making the dream catcher for one of my subscribers. So I'm going to get that all put together tomorrow. I made some more stud earrings, which I sold a lot of stud earrings today. There's a lot that I have to take down from my Poshmark, like older ones from like sets, because I sold some of the ones from those sets, and I did take down a bunch that I sold. But I broke apart a lot of the sets and put them in singles because they sell a lot better at these events just by the pair. So, I'm not going to be selling studs on Poshmark anymore. I'm just going to sell my dangles with like in sets of 2. And then if one happens to sell at an event, like a vendor event, I will take that listing down, which I've been doing. But yeah, there was something else I was working on too. I did a pour, and I think it's called a dirty pour. When you pour like leftover resins that you're using, yes. I did a dirty pour of a skull for the skull keychains, the little skulls, with leftover resin from the Dreamcatcher feathers and leftover resin from, I'm making a gnome. Right now I'm making a gnome ornament or keychain. I haven't figured out. I think I want to do ornament though. And I'm doing a like pour by pour thing where I'm separating it by color. So the leftover resin that I poured in his shoes, I poured in that skull too, and then a little bit of pink because I poured his hat too, and I made his hat pink. So that skull is going to be like a whole bunch of like swirled colors together. And then 2 days ago, I made, and it did not sell at the block party, so I will be putting it up on Poshmark. I made, I don't know if it's in a video that's out yet, a Temu video, but I got a mold. Oh, maybe it is. It's that astral cat. That it's like a little shelf thing, and there's a little tea light holder in it. And I did it black with purple glitter. And these are in an upcoming Temu video that has not come out yet. But I got these pens, markers, something. I don't know what they're called. But they have a puff ball, like a beauty blender type sponge, but it's like really small. It's like a tip like this big. And there's mica powder, packed mica powder in the cap. And you just dip it in the cap, and it goes onto that sponge, and you can brush it onto your molds, and it just sits where you want it. I have yet to have that work with loose mica powder, so this was like a godsend. I was so excited. That was my first mold I had ever used those on, and it looks so good. I'll have to post a picture of it after I put it on Poshmark and show you guys, but I love it. So I made that, and that's pretty big. And it just needs, like, I'm not going to put the hardware on it because I don't have the hardware, but it just needs something in the back of it to be able to hang on the wall. And then it's like a little tea light candle holder shelf thing, but it's cute. And then I'm making another little baby T-Rex dinosaur that I'm putting in an egg and making into another keychain. So I'm working on a few things. I started getting back into the epoxy creations part after I got all my cups done. But yeah, sorry, I went off on a huge tangent there. All right, where were we? After the fall festival events are done, then there will be Christmas bazaar. Also, churches will have bazaar that are open to all vendors. Yes, the fall festival in our area is next month, the 15th, and then I don't know if it's in November, but there's an event coming up that's like Christmas themed. So I'm excited to start getting into the Christmas stuff, and I purchased some iron-on stuff from Temu that I'm excited about, that I'm going to start like banging out some shirts and stuff, because I had one shirt. I had one shirt at this event and nobody bought it, which I'm not surprised, but I want to start making some more of the iron-on stuff. I had 2 beer koozies, which I want to make a few more of those. I have blank bandanas for dogs that I want to put some stuff on, and flags that I want to put some stuff on, like flags that you hang like on your yard and in your garden and stuff for like each holiday or season or whatever. And then I want to make a couple more makeup bags, because I just have that all sitting. But I need to start doing some more iron-on stuff soon. Hey, Betsy. Try fresh ginger. I'll have to try that, although fresh ginger is very spicy to me. Hey, Angie. Everything is just damp. It was 86 and humid. Oh, I don't like humid. Yeah, that is not a comfortable temperature. No, unseasonably hot, usually. Ugh, usually in the 70s this time of year. But it's Minnesota. We never know what is going to be. I hear you on that. We have up and down weather here in Pennsylvania too. And I was reading this post the other day that said in Pennsylvania we have all 4 seasons in one day. That it gets to be winter. It's winter at, I think they said like, it was like 6 a.m. it's winter. Because like, once the sun goes down, it's like 1, 2 in the morning. It's like freezing this time of year. Absolutely freezing. And then we wake up in the morning and it's still freezing. And we get dressed in sweats and hoodies, and we're all bundled up out with I'm all bundled up out with the kids waiting for the bus. They're still in shorts, mind you. Well, my son, I've convinced my son to wear pants, but my daughter's out there like shivering in shorts. But I have not been able to get her to wear pants yet this year. And then I want to say by like 10 a.m. it's spring. So we can kind of, ease up on the hoodies, but we still need our long pants and we're not freezing. Then by, I want to say like noon, 1 o'clock. No, like 1, 2 o'clock. It's summer. It's hot. We're like, we're sweating in our pants, but we don't want to put on shorts because we know a couple hours later it's going to be cold again. And then by like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it's fall. And then we start all over the next day. That's kind of the weather that's been going on right now. And I was just reading my husband a post that said that exact same thing. And then at the end of it, it said, dress accordingly. Because we are taking off hoodies, changing our pants, changing this, changing that. Because now it's hot. Now it's cold. Now it's this. Now it's that. But yeah, that's Pennsylvania. Melissa's mom would love the gnomes. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. I should send Melissa one of the gnomes in like a care package. Melissa, I'm so excited for her right now. She is on a cruise, but in another country. I forget where it was. I just talked to her this morning. I texted her telling her to enjoy her vacation and that I'm excited for her and I hope she has fun. And she's like, thank you. I'm on the plane. I'm boarding on the plane right now. So she is going to be gone, I think, for 2 weeks. And it's really exciting. I'm so excited for her. Yes, I want a dog bandana. I can for sure do that. I can even personalize it too. LOL, yep, same here. Same in Virginia. We have all seasons in one. Yeah, I feel like it's the on the East Coast. Well, the Northeast, Mid-East. What are we? Are we Northeast? I know Virginia is like 1 or 2 states over from me. I don't know how far Minnesota is from me, but I don't think that's too close. But yeah, I feel like all of us states like around here, we have all 4 seasons in one day. I got sick because of the weather one day. It's 80 and the next day it's 40. Yes, that gets me. That gets me every year around this time. Once it goes from summer to fall, I'm sick the entire. It's usually the entire fall and winter. I'm sick. It's like I have 1 week of I feel great, and then the next week I'm sick again. It's ridiculous, and it's because of the weather. My sinuses, my immune system does not like fluctuating weather whatsoever. And our falls and winters are constantly fluctuating here. It's ridiculous. Betsy, so true. Can't keep up with it. Italy. Ah, yes. Italy. That's right. Or maybe it... I think I remember her saying Italy today. I'm not sure, though. I was very preoccupied today. Also, the kids are back to school and bring all sorts of stuff. Yes. And unfortunately, in our area, we have COVID going around again. We've been fortunate enough to not get it. I just have a cold. But my neighbors, my neighbors have COVID right now. Although I don't know if they have it anymore. They had it last week. Or maybe it was the beginning of this week. But they're really sick. And my friend Jess and her husband had it at the end of August. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that we can keep it out of our house, because that is not fun. And I know for a fact that I have a cold and not COVID, because COVID is like, oh my gosh. If any of you have had COVID and have had the COVID headache, it is the worst feeling in the entire world. And I seriously felt like I was dying. I did. I was in tears. It was so bad. I couldn't keep food down. I couldn't keep my medicine down. It was just, it was awful. Same as New Jersey, and I have an ear infection now, so I'm just, I I wrote a community post, so a lot of you know I was supposed to get my tooth pulled on Thursday, get all the way there, and their power is out. So they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything, and they were like, oh, you can wait. It might come back on at 1 or 2. Mind you, I got there at 10:30. I was like, I don't have the time to wait. I have to get my son from school at 3 o'clock. Like, and there was like 20 people in the waiting room. And I'm like, and once it does come back on, I'm going to have to wait for all these people to have their appointments. And I'm not going to get out of here till like 6 or 7. No, thank you. So I left my name and number down for them to call to reschedule, because I couldn't reschedule there because obviously with their power being out, their computers were down. So they didn't call me that day. I'm kind of assuming that either they were so busy dealing with the people that were there and waited, or their power didn't even come back on till the next day. So they did call me. I called them the next morning. Couldn't get through it all. But then like an hour and a half to 2 hours later, they called me to reschedule. So I'm scheduled not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. So I have to wait 2 more weeks to get my teeth out. The top one's been hurting so badly. So that I was getting to this point. My tooth on the top has been hurting so badly that it's making my ear hurt. And I'm like, I keep questioning myself, like, do I have an ear infection? And then I'm like, no. I'm like, it's my tooth traveling to my ear, because it's your mouth, your ears, and your nose and your throat are like all connected. So when one thing hurts, they kind of sometimes all hurt. So, and when I do I either take dual action, which is Advil with Tylenol in it, or I take a 800 milligram ibuprofen. And when I take one of those and it gets rid of my tooth pain, it kind of gets rid of my ear pain. So I'm like, it's connected. Like, I don't need to go to the doctor for my ear. But anytime my tooth's hurting right now because I'm on like I want to say around 2, I took the dual action Advil, and that, what time is it now? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I'm due for another one. So it's kind of hurting right now. Not to the point where like it's horrible, because I'm not eating anything right now, or I'm not doing anything to aggravate it. But I can feel it in my ear now. Which, oh my goodness. Last night, I woke up, I want to say around like 3:30. I woke up just feeling like, ugh. Because you know when you're sick and you have sinus, whatever, and it's 10 times worse when you're laying down. Especially when you've been laying down for a while, like sleeping. So I woke up at like 3:30 and just felt awful. Awful. And on top of it, my tooth started hurting. Then around like, I was up for a little while because I couldn't fall back asleep because I just didn't really feel good. And then like a half an hour to an hour into being awake, my tooth just was throbbing. And I was like, because I was trying to wait till the morning to take it so that I didn't have to take it again while I was out. But I ended up taking it at 4, like 4 or 4:30, maybe 4. Because I did go to sleep after it like wore off a little bit, but and it happened really bad after I drank some water that was like it was room temperature, but it was a little cold because it was in the middle of the night. And it just really set it off. And I was in so much pain. So I broke down, I took the ibuprofen, and it took about a half an hour for it to take effect. And then I was able to fall back asleep. But oh my gosh, that tooth pain was just terrible. That was the worst that I've had it since having tooth pain in that tooth. So I'm like, ugh. All this pushing it off, having to reschedule my appointments, it is not good. Like, I'm praying that it doesn't get to the point of the pain that I was experiencing on this side of my mouth. That one time, this tooth that I got pulled right here. No, I lied. This tooth that I got pulled right here. Unbelievable pain right before I got it pulled. Like, to the point where even when I took the ibuprofen, it didn't work after so long. And it was just so bad to the point that I was like in tears every day. And finally got an antibiotic and scheduled an appointment to get it pulled. But I'm hoping that this tooth does not get to that point, because that would be awful. All right. I skipped a lot of comments. I'm sorry. I'm going back. Same as New Jersey. Oh, no, wait. I read that one. My daughter has it too, and she lives in Hawaii. Her hubby has it now. COVID? Is that what you're talking about, Angel? I had it. Oh, yeah. I had it really bad in November 2020. I had it really bad. It wasn't really bad in the sense of I didn't have the headache. Like, that strain was not out yet. That was like the Delta strain. I had the first strain. I had COVID the first time before COVID was even announced. So I didn't know I had COVID. I went to the doctor. They said it was a bad sinus infection. Gave me antibiotics. Didn't work. Gave me a second round of antibiotics. Didn't work. And then I was like, what's going on? I've been sick for a month. And then finally I was starting to get better. Lost my taste. Lost my smell. Lost my voice. I sounded like a completely different person for like 3 weeks, and my husband was like laughing at me the whole time. It was kind of funny, but yeah, it was awful. Then the second time, what happened? Then the second time I had it was, I want to say 2022. 21 or 22. I think it was 22. I can't remember. But that didn't lose my taste and smell. But I had the worst headache of my life. It was so awful. Blinding headache. Then after that went away, I was like, oh, I'm getting better. No. Boom. Then I got hit with the sinus thing. And I was sick for a month again. It was awful. And it was right when I had gotten I had my gym membership at Planet Fitness. And I had it for like 2 months, and I was doing really well, going like 3 times a week, maybe 4 times a week to the gym and all that. And then boom, got COVID. All that went out the window. I was like, I'm canceling my membership. I don't even feel like going to the gym anymore. I was like, I feel awful for like a month. And that was that. Would love that gnome. And I just love her dad too. Oh my gosh, her dad is like the cutest. He is so funny. Ouch, Becca, all those nerves connect. So that's, yeah. No, my teeth are broken. I'm not going to show you because it's nasty, but my tooth broke up here. And it was just a little, I guess it was a significant chunk that broke off, but it was kind of small. Then I was eating chips and another chunk came out really big. So the whole one side of my tooth is out, like right on the end. Like I can feel my gum under the tooth. So like it's open a little bit. And the nerve, like when I got my tooth pulled on this side, I was chewing on this side because I couldn't chew on this side because of, you know, healing. So I was chewing on this side, and it got to the point where I guess it was grinding it down so much that the nerve is just completely exposed now. So it's always hurting because anything, air, anything touching it, my saliva touching it, like that nerve is completely exposed. So, and my tooth down here is broken too. Have a good rest of your night. Aw, thank you, Betsy. You too. Oh, I forgot. No, we didn't make it to the fair, but it was okay. We had a great day together. Aw, that's awesome. Even though you didn't make it, I'm glad you guys spent the day together. Keep ahead of the pain, Becca. It's hard to get it reduced once it's full. Oh my gosh, I know. As soon as I'm off this live, I'm taking the ibuprofen right before bed. But yeah, I was trying to kind of wait out the pain last night, but no. Once it got to like full blown pain, I was like, I have to. Is it possible for you to get on their cancellation wait list? I mean, kind of, but I have requested mornings because I can't do afternoons and evenings because I don't know how long it's going to take. So I want to be able to be home to get my son from school, and the fact that they're less busy in the morning, and I don't like that long wait. If I have to wait like 3 hours, my anxiety is so high that I'm like, I have to leave. I am so anxious about the dentist, especially when I'm getting work done, and especially when I'm getting teeth pulled. So I can't be sitting around for a long time, or I will work myself into an anxiety attack. So if the tooth is infected, it will not be pulled. Yes. It's not infected. I just ended antibiotics like, I want to say like 4 days ago, maybe 5 days ago, but and it did nothing for the tooth. It's just an exposed nerve. Like, it doesn't hurt up here or anything. It hurts like right where the nerve is. So and if need be, like, I have 2 weeks now. If I need to go back and get another round of antibiotics, I will. I am not running the risk of them not pulling it. So if it starts getting really, really bad, I might go for another round of antibiotics too. I had a headache for weeks now. Oh my goodness. That's not good. Good afternoon. It's afternoon now, 1:30 p.m. Oh my goodness. That must be very it's extremely painful. Can you get a topical numbing for the outside and then I could, but I'm weird about topical, like, stuff going in my mouth. I can't do that gel stuff. It makes me gag. Being at the dentist gives me anxiety too. Yeah, it's awful. Being at any doctor or dentist's office gives me, and just any kind of, like, I get anxiety so often. Like, when I got home from the block party, just from all the commotion and being up early and on the go all morning, and when I got home, I had to lay down for like an hour and a half because I was starting to get anxiety really bad. I heard the pharmacy is allowed to give you antibiotics without a prescription. Really? I usually just go to urgent care. They're usually pretty quick too if I get there early enough. That's what I did the last time. I went, like, I got there before they even opened. So I was like the third person in line. And they had me in within minutes after registering. So that's normally what I do when I have to take my kids to the doctor spur of the moment. I'm like, let's wake up. They open at 8. I think it's 9 actually. I'm like, they open at 9. Let's go. I don't like antibiotics if I don't have to take them. They stopped giving them for like, yeah. I don't like antibiotics unless I have to, but when it comes to my teeth, I know they won't pull your tooth if it's infected. So, if I'm in a lot of pain before I'm supposed to get it pulled, I will go and get antibiotics just to make sure. But, I used to get antibiotics for sinus infections a lot. Till my doctor told me that, the reason I'm getting the sinus infections is because my sinuses are blocked. So she was like, if you just take Mucinex right when the pain up here starts, it will cause everything to drain, blow your nose a lot, and it should get everything out. So every time I have that sinus pain and pressure and it's not, draining properly, I will go and get Mucinex and drain it. And I haven't had any sinus infections since. So I've stopped taking antibiotics for those now. Like, I try not to take antibiotics when I can't, because it's actually not good to habitually take antibiotics for certain things, because each time you take antibiotics, your body slowly builds up an immunity to them, and then eventually they won't work, or you'll have to take so much more and more and more kind of thing. Same with pain too. If you take too much pain medicine, your body builds a tolerance to it, and you have to either take more and more and more, or it just won't work. And it's actually the same for a lot of medicines too. My friend Jess was explaining this to me, because she's on a lot of medications for her migraines, for anxiety, for other things like that, that I think it's like every 4 years they have to switch it up, because your body builds up an immunity to those things. So you have to switch to something else. And it sucks. Yeah, I got told the same thing. Yeah, I believe it just makes you more resistant to them. Never believed it until I stopped taking them whenever possible. Yeah. Like, I believed it, but I never really cared for a while, until I was like, I don't know. I just stopped, and it's been working a lot better. But I'm hoping that my body doesn't build up a resistance to the ibuprofen, because I've been having to take that a lot for my teeth. Not only for the pain that I'm having, but also because of the extractions that I'm having, I take that for the pain for that as well. And my migraine, I get headaches and migraines and stuff, so. But I try not to take it when I don't need to. I've been at the dentist for the same problem as you, and I have slid down that damn chair so far. You would think I was the OBGYN. I ended up having no back teeth, top of all. Yeah, I don't like the dentist. I don't like the dentist at all. I would rather go to the OBGYN than the dentist. And my last OB visit was like 10 minutes long. And then I had a dentist appointment after that. That was 2 hours long. I would have taken 5 OB appointments over that dentist appointment, let me tell you that. I don't like getting teeth. I don't like being numb either. Like having my face like for like hours is not fun. Renee, she got pushed out another 2 weeks. Yeah. Yep. Garlic is a natural antibiotic and it's also a natural blood thinner. I mentioned this earlier in my live, but I've been trying to do a lot of natural stuff. I've been trying to kick this cold. I've been eating like a half a medicine cup of bee pollen every day. I've been taking a shot of garlic vinegar every day. And every once in a while, I'll drink a little bit of kombucha. And then honey. Honey's really good for you too. But yeah, hasn't helped with my cold, but the kombucha, oh my god, that worked a little too well. She said the power went out of the dentist the day. Yeah. And that was the second time that I had to drive all the way out there. It takes me 18 minutes to get there and 18 minutes to get back. And I wasted my gas. And I was like, but at the same time, their power was out, their phones were out, they couldn't call people, and their systems were out where they couldn't find people's numbers. So they couldn't call anybody to tell them not to come to their appointment. So I don't blame them for that. But what I do blame them for is overbooking, because they constantly overbook and it's really annoying is what it is, right? Hi Becca, my son was on antibiotics for 11 years, taking it twice a day because he got rheumatic fever from undiagnosed strep. Crazy. Oh my goodness. Is that like, I heard you can get strep in other places than your throat. You can get it in your sinuses and stuff. Was it strep like in his sinuses and it got like, it went septic? Because I heard that can happen. That's crazy. I end up biting my jaw every time. Oh. Then I had a tooth beside my front one and then another one cracked. I said that is it and had them pulled and had a denture made from top. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna need dentures eventually. Bad teeth runs in my family too, and soft teeth. I had 3 cracked teeth, all within weeks of each other. No, this tooth on this side cracked like last year, maybe 6 months ago. But these 2 cracked within like a week of each other. The one that cracked on this side's out already. Then these 2 have to come out. But I also have periodontitis, which is like a really, really, really advanced form of gingivitis. So I have to get a deep cleaning done. But my insurance doesn't cover it. So I have to set up like a payment plan for that. But I have to get these pulled. Then I have, I think, 1 or 2 cavities that need to be filled. Then I need to get the deep clean done. And then my insurance does cover partials. So I'm going to be fitted for partials after that. But the current dentist there doesn't know the plan, so I have to go through that all over again. But I feel like eventually all my teeth are going to have to come out. And I'm going to have to get dentures top and bottom because I'm missing teeth top and bottom. So hey, Linda. My ex-boyfriend had that ended up all his top teeth being put. Yeah. So they want to do the deep cleaning to try to avoid any other teeth having to be pulled. So fingers crossed. It's gonna cost around, I think they said like $1,100. So, and I don't know if they charged interest. I don't know if they charge interest for payments. So I did the math and it comes out to like $91 a month, which I think I can swing. I think I can swing $91 a month. And then maybe some months I'll pay extra just so that I can get it paid off faster. But I really don't want to end up losing all of my teeth. I mean, if I have to, I have to, but I'm lucky. I have hard teeth, but I clench my teeth. I have ground down so much that they look like... Yes, that's another one of my issues is when I'm sleeping, I grind my teeth. And I've been told I grind them very, very loudly. So obviously I'm clenching them very, very hard at night. So that could be another reason why my teeth aren't great either. So, and the periodontitis came on because you guys don't skip flossing. Flossing is very important. I never flossed. I never thought it was important. I was like, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm rinsing with mouthwash. I'm doing enough. No. You need to floss. But now I can't floss because every time I floss, it hurts the crap out of my gums. So you best believe that once I get the deep cleaning done, I'm going to be flossing every single day. Have you seen the pickle t-shirts on Temu? No, but I've seen the pickle shirts on TikTok and I've seen the pickle blankets on Temu. And I have one of them in my cart. Dental stuff is so expensive. Yes, dental stuff is extremely expensive. And I've come to the realization that you can go to the ER for a medical emergency, get treated, and they just bill you. And you don't even have to pay it right away. The dentist, there is no emergency dentist that will do something emergency to your mouth without being like, okay, where's my payment right away up front. So, yeah. And dental, like, if it's an emergency in your mouth for dental, you could die because your teeth are connected to your heart. So it is mind-blowing that there isn't as good of dental care as there is medical care. Like, it's crazy. A dental like, and not to listen to this too. Medical insurance, whether it's great insurance or whether it's state insurance, welfare insurance, if it is deemed medically necessary, your insurance will cover it. Dental, even if it's deemed medically necessary, it's not covered. Like, the deep cleaning, not covered. But you know what's funny though? The deep cleaning itself is covered. I was told this by one of my dentists. I could be wrong though. The deep cleaning itself is covered. It's the Novocaine, the numbing, that's not covered. But the numbing, same numbing stuff that they use for a cavity is covered for a cavity, but it's not covered for deep cleaning. And then tooth extractions are covered at certain places. You have to go to a certain dentist office. But there was one dentist at my dentist office that refused to do teeth extractions. He made me go to an outside tooth extraction place. The one place that would take me, that took my insurance, they had to knock you out. They had to give you like I forget what it's called, the stuff that knocks you out. They only did teeth extractions that way. They did not do it while you were awake with Novocaine. And insurance does not cover the knocking you out part, which I wasn't fully excited about that. I was like, I don't want to be knocked out to get my tooth extracted. That's weird. That's not necessary. So I ended up going somewhere and paying like $350 to get my tooth extracted that time. Then luckily when I went back for these 3, the dentist that was there was like, oh yeah, I'll take them out. Perfect. But, my dentist that I had currently at that time, I guess he just didn't like teeth. It was like an exception kind of thing. There were certain, he was like, we only take teeth out under certain circumstances. So yeah. But my dentist now said they only deny teeth extractions if it's going to be extremely complicated. Like, if it's going to come out in like 50 pieces kind of thing. This tooth right here, the one up here, did break, but it came out in 2 pieces. This tooth right here was the one that came out in 2 pieces. This tooth that I just had last month taken out, or 2 months ago, something like that. It came out all in one, and it was broken too. So I was lucky for that, but it was hard to get out. He had to use like 3 different pliers to get them out, but it came out. But this next dentist, since I'm already scheduled for teeth extractions, he's going to take them out, but I'm lucky. But they got a new dentist since I got this out, so I'm like kind of nervous because I'm like, I keep having to get used to new dentists, and it's kind of annoying. But because my dentist's office is like a stepping stone. So they go to my dentist's office, get their job, whatever. And then once they get a job offer at like a higher paying place or a better place, they move on. So kind of sucks. Floss everywhere, in my car, in my office, in my purse, on my end table. You need to make the Christmas pickles you put on the Christmas tree. Ah, yes, I do have a pickle mold to do that now. It's bad, and the limits are so low for coverage. My disabled son is an adult and has medical assistance and needed his wisdom teeth pulled because he's over 21. They said he didn't need to be put under. Oh, the dentist wouldn't do it. I feel like even if you're an adult, what's the difference? It's like, did he need them like pulled? Like, were they already out and he needed them pulled, or were they impacted inside and he needed them removed? Because I'm 36 and my dentist asked me if I wanted to be put under and get my wisdom teeth taken out just so they didn't cause me issues in the future. I'm like, no. Like, if they're not causing me pain now, why do I need to get them out? That's like removing my appendix because I could get appendicitis later in life. Like, no, thank you. I've lived 36 years, not had any issues with my wisdom teeth. I don't think I'm going to end up with issues, so... So I just paid out of pocket and it was $425 per tooth. Oh my goodness. Don't let them take out every... You are so young and you have to... Well, it's not that I'm letting them take them out. It's that they're rotten and there's no saving them. So they're causing me pain. They're going to end up infected. Well, here's how my dentist explained it. Once your tooth is rotted to the point where there's no coming back from it, they're infected. He said, your teeth are, once they're broken too, there's no fixing them. He said, your teeth are infected, but it only becomes like a real issue is when it gets infected in the bone. And that's when you end up getting the abscesses and you need antibiotics. But yeah, my teeth that are coming out they're gone. There's no saving them. They're causing me pain. They're causing me issues. They're broken. So believe me, I'm not pulling any teeth that are good out of my mouth, and ones that can be saved with fillings, I'm getting them filled. I'm not just getting them, but yeah, I have I have 2 teeth already pulled, but I have 2 bad teeth that are no saving them. Just for the anesthesia, it was another $700 to pull each. Oh my gosh. Nope, impacted. So they were still in, like they didn't come out yet. Like they were under the gums. Because if they were under the gums and you're not put to sleep for that, that's traumatic. That's extremely traumatic. I would not. No. Yep, his didn't bug him either. They started to try to come down sideways, so they were causing pain for him, and he is 32. Oh my goodness. But the fact that they hadn't even come down yet, and they weren't poking through the gums, like, why would they try to... That's a surgery. Why would they try to do a surgery like that while you're awake? I'm 36, and that, no. I'd be like, you're not doing that with me awake. No thanks. Nope. And I don't like anesthesia, but I would not do that awake. The dentist didn't. That's crazy though. My son's dentist put him to sleep just to do fillings and caps. He has caps on 6 teeth. I think 6 teeth. He has caps on 6 teeth because they're baby teeth. So, he has caps on some of his molars, I think, to protect them. He has caps on his 2 front teeth. So, but they're just like a protected thing. Like they filled the cavities and then are protecting them till they come out. Oh my god, my nose got like all stuffy all of a sudden. But yeah, they put him to sleep because he is he's troublesome when he's awake and getting stuff done in his mouth. He doesn't like it. So they figured it was safer just to put him to sleep so that he wasn't moving around or freaking out during it, because he freaks out just during a teeth cleaning. Mine were grown sideways and they put me to sleep. And I wouldn't cover it, so I just paid for the anesthesia and the covered the extraction only. Anesthesia is so expensive. I would have slid right down that chair and left. No way I would do that without being... Right? Right? No. The dentist is scary enough. I think I might have just gotten locked out of my house. I don't know if my husband knows I'm out here. And I think I just heard the door shut. And usually when he goes and shuts the door, he locks it. So I might have to wake him up to let me back inside. I know, Pam, they kind of have you stuck. I was not going to let my kid, yes, adult, but still deal with that. Oh, I agree. And they're always your kids. It doesn't matter if they're adult or not, you're always going to do anything you can to protect your children. Whether they're 3, whether they're 16, whether they're 30, whether they're 60. Hey, Teresa. Just hearing the drills when I'm in the waiting room makes me watch the exit. Right? Ugh. Hey, Chris. And I'm so tired of talking about my dentist, too. I just want it to be over. Over and done with. And then I don't have to talk about them anymore. It feels like it's never ending. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Like nails on a chalkboard. Oh my gosh, for real. I can't stand nails on a chalkboard. Oh my gosh, even just thinking about it makes me like, whew. Gives me the chills. I hate it. And not even just on a chalkboard, but like, have you ever had your nail? Not even watching someone else do it, but your nail like scrape something that's like chalkboard like, and just that feeling, oh my god, it like goes up your arm and down your spine and like, oh, and then you feel that feeling for like a good like half hour because you keep thinking about it. And your gums, especially in the bottom, will shrink at the time where teeth, and you can end up with teeth that are skating around. Yeah, I definitely don't want my teeth pulled by choice, but when they gotta come out, they gotta come out. I'm doing better though. I've missed you and your videos. Aw, I'm glad you're doing better. I know exactly what you mean. Gives you the heebie-jeebies. Oh my god, it does. Like, I can't even stand it. Like, anything that has that chalkboard kind of feel. And I always seem to, like, even paper. Even when you hit paper with your nail the wrong way. Like, oh, I hate it. I hate it. Ew, yes, I know that feeling. It gives me goosebumps. Yes. And you're like, once you do it, you can't get it out of your head. You're just like, oh my god. And that feeling just sticks with you for like a good half hour. Like, even thinking about it right now is like giving me chills. I couldn't play with chalk with kids. Yeah, I don't like chalk. When I was younger, we had chalkboards at school like that. We still had chalkboards. I kind of went through it all. Except the Chromebooks. We never had tablets or Chromebooks in our classes like they do now. But when I was in elementary school, we had the chalkboards. And I think we might have still had chalkboards, or maybe we had whiteboards when I went. Okay. So I went to public school, kindergarten through 4th. We had chalkboards at that school. I know that for a fact. Then I switched schools, and I believe we had whiteboards there. The dry erase boards. And then once I got to, I don't know if it was middle school or junior high, then we had smart boards. I don't know if any of you were in school when they had smart boards, but they were like these big boards that they were like a computer screen, but they were a bit huge, like whiteboard size, like dry erase size. And then they had these markers, but they weren't markers, they were markers. So they were like these marker shaped tubes with a plastic like nib on the end with like a sensor in it. And each one was a different color, like the whiteboard markers. And then when you when you drew on the smart board, it was like a dry erase board, but then you could just, you didn't have to use an eraser to erase it. You could like clear the board with a button. But yeah, so it was like I think I just described a tablet, right? So it was like a big tablet kind of thing. But now, when I graduated, we still had smart boards. But now my kids, I don't even think they have like smart boards or whiteboards. They're all on Chromebooks and tablets in their schools. So we've definitely become very digital. We did too. We had chalkboards too, and then it became all whiteboards with dry erase markers. We did all chalk, not even dry erasers for us. We lived in really, really small town. My daughter has a Chromebook as well. Yeah. My daughter's in middle school. My daughter got her first Chromebook. I think she got it in 4th grade. I don't think she had it in 3rd. Pretty sure she got it in 4th. And now for 5th, she has it. My stepson is in the high school, and he has it. But my son, he's in 1st grade. They have tablets, but they leave them at school. So they do the tablets at school. But then I think once he hits 4th grade, he's going to get his first Chromebook. But yeah. I have the news on and it's 56 degrees here. Not sure what it is right now, but I know before I came out here, I checked just to see if I would need a hoodie. And it was 62 here. Love all your videos. Aw, thank you, Michael. Oh my gosh. I'm so stuffy for some reason. Well, I mean, not some reason. I have a cold, but my nose got really stuffy, like, all of a sudden. And it really sucks with my cold and my sinuses. Like, I've been fighting this cold coming on for, like, a week now. And it was allergies at first. So I would get these sneeze attacks where it would be like, for half an hour, I would just be constantly sneezing. Like every 30 seconds to a minute, I would sneeze. And it was ridiculous. But now with this cold, it's like every morning I wake up and have a sneeze attack for like 10 minutes. It sucks. Mine started at 5th grade. She's a freshman in high school, and they got a brand new Chromebook this year. And got to keep the old one. Oh, they got to keep them. We have to give those back. But I mean, I don't really expect them to give every student, be like, here, have a Chromebook. I feel like that's not in their budget, but I was a dentist assistant for about 17 years, so if you have any questions, I might be able to answer. Thank you, Linda. 81 here today. Oh my goodness. I would like the temperature to be like in the low to mid 70s, but any higher than that, no. I don't want to go back to that. I'm good. I know, right? Kids who really need it should have them, I think. My daughter has her own Chromebook that she was using during COVID, like when they had the shutdowns and everything. She was in the middle of the shutdown at the end of 1st grade, and I believe almost the entire year of 2nd grade. I think they went back for like, maybe it was like the last 2 months of 2nd grade. And she was using her own Chromebook during that because they were giving them out. And when we got it, it didn't work. Like, it would like bring up this blue screen. And they were like, oh, you can return it and get a new one. And I'm like, I'm not even going to bother. I was like, I'm just going to return it and she's going to do her work on her Chromebook. And it worked fine for that. My child doesn't need a Chromebook. See, my son doesn't. They don't even get homework right now. My daughter didn't. I feel like my daughter didn't need to bring home her Chromebook. At the end of 4th grade, like during 4th grade, because they never got homework in elementary school. But now that she's in 5th grade, they just got slammed with homework this year. So she's kind of like not used to it yet. 86 here and still 75 at 10-11 p.m. Dang. Gonna be in the 80s this week. Yeah, it's going to be in the mid 70s to high 70s all week here. So not quite 80s. I don't want it to be 80s anyway, so I'm good on that. Here too in Illinois, last of the nice weather. During COVID, I felt so bad for the parents and the children. It had to be so frustrating. It was. It was, because the kids didn't want to be home. It was crazy. Luckily, my daughter was the only one in our house that was in school at the time, because my stepson was living with his mom. My stepdaughter was living with her boyfriend, and she was in college at the time. And my son was still a toddler. So, but she was in 1st grade when it hit. So she was 7. She was 7 when the shutdowns happened. And I think they happened in like March, if I'm correct. March or April. I think it was March. So they didn't have that much left of school for that year. But she was like, I just want to go back to school. And at that point, she enjoyed school, but not at home. She hated doing work at home and having to sit in front of the screen and talk over Zoom and all that. It was so annoying for her. It was like pulling teeth. It wasn't as bad the end of first grade, but once they got into it in second grade, like, oh my goodness, it was like pulling teeth to try to get her to pay attention during class, not be distracted by things around her because she's at home and there's lots of distractions at home. And not to mention that it was hard for her to find a quiet place where her brother wouldn't be interrupting her and stuff like that. So, yeah. And then their recess was going outside in the yard and playing for a little bit. And they didn't really get to interact with other students. Like, obviously they were interacting on Zoom, but like they need face-to-face interaction. So it was really tough on them. And us as parents, like, it's like we didn't know what to do. Like, half the time we had to teach our kids, and we're like, what? Like, they would give us these packets and stuff, and it's like, oh my goodness. Oh my god, no homework. She could, yeah. So when she was in kindergarten and first grade, they had homework. Then as soon as COVID hit, they did away with homework in the elementary school, which I don't hate. I'm one of those parents that think homework is pointless. They're at school for 7 hours. They're doing schoolwork and school things for 7 hours in a day. I think it is ridiculous for them to have to come home and then do hours more of schoolwork. Like, let them be children. They don't need that crammed down their throats for 12 hours a day. That's ridiculous. Like, especially high school students. They go to school at 6 in the morning. Well, no. My stepson's bus comes at 6:45, but still. They start school at 7. They're in school for 7 hours. They come home. They have 4 or 5 hours more of homework. They have to then, between that time, eat dinner. They have to, a lot of times, shower. They have to wind down for the day. Like, where do they have time to... And a lot of them have sports that they have to do. So it's like, when do they have time to just relax? And if they do relax, they're relaxing when they should be sleeping. So it's just ridiculous. And there's been studies shown that it's over redundant and that you can only learn so much in one day. You can only take in so much in one day before your brain is just like, no, I've had enough. I've had enough. I'm shutting down. So it's home and do work that you can just do in class, and like, you're in class all day. Why do you need to come home and do more? I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. My daughter pretty much stayed in her room. I knew nothing about Chromebooks. Thank God my daughter did that. Ugh. They don't even teach stuff the same way. I would be lost trying to help her. Oh. I was trying to help Brooklyn with math homework the other day. I was doing it my way. She was doing it hers. And I was like, okay, it kind of makes sense, but it'd be easier to kind of do it this way. So I'm trying to show her, and she's like, no, I'm doing it my way. Like, whatever. Wait till high school. Yeah, high school is ridiculous. There's too much pressure on students. They also have jobs. I only allowed my kids to do one sport per season. My daughter could manage it, but my son, no way. Aw. Mine just started being a freshman, and you would not believe how much homework she has, and she's in theater after school. One night, she was up till midnight doing homework. Kids and parents are running around so much that they don't even eat dinner together. Yeah, we eat dinner together. But we eat kind of in separate areas, but a little bit. So Me and my husband eat at the kitchen table, and then my kids have a table in the living room that they eat at in front of the TV, and they watch like a movie or a TV show or something while they're eating. Just because I hate to say it, but we live in a technology fueled world right now. And if we were all sitting at the table, each kid would have a device with them, and I cannot handle each device making noise in my ear while I'm trying to sit there and enjoy my nope. Go all watch the same thing in there. Like, it was a shizzle show. My twins missed out on all the fun senior year things. And my 8th grader missed out on her French. Aww. I was lucky enough to not have any of my kids in a milestone grade that year. And let me tell you how bad I feel for the high school kids, especially the seniors. This year, not in my district, but the district the next town over, we live like pretty much down the road from Antietam High School, which is the next town over from us. And during that big flood that we had, the school was completely destroyed. So they now have to have school in the primary center and in the elementary school. Because, listen to this, they wanted to come over to our district and use a couple classrooms in our high school. I thought, wow, that's great, you know? No, most of the parents complained and all that and just made them feel awful. Was like, no, we're not doing that. Then they asked another district and they said no. But I'm thinking, like, our district and that district have always been rivals. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But I just think it's awful. It's awful that we, as a community, not me, but a lot of the community, are treating children like that. Like, just gets under my skin. Gets under my skin that, like, that they denied children a couple classrooms in their school to be educated, to get their education. Like, what they really wanted to do was merge the school just for the year or a year or two, or however long it took to rebuild their high school. But they immediately said no to that. Then they were trying to get a couple classrooms, and it's like, what is so bad about a community helping another community's children? I just think it's awful that they were treated like that. But that's just my thoughts. I got off on another tangent again. I eat with my adult son at the table, and no devices are allowed at the table. He is back home trying to get back on track. I'm kind of... See, we've tried that. No, doesn't work with our kids. They either complain, make dinner miserable, or they refuse to eat, or they're like, to get to play on their devices again, they're like, I'm full after like 2 bites, or they try to shovel their food to, like, it just works so much better for them just to, like, and they're within, like, our kitchen table and the table that they eat at in the living room is pretty much, like, next to each other. Like, there's a median in between us that's open, so we can talk to them while they're sitting there. Like, we do. We do. We converse back and forth while they're sitting there. There's also, with 5 people, we have a small table. We don't have the room for all 5 people. We don't even have 5 chairs. So there is no room for all of us to sit at the table either, especially when we have, like, the food on the table too. But yeah, it's what works for us. But we all eat dinner at the same time. I find that very important. On hand to help her, told her we could even cheat just to get it done, but she wasn't having all. All my kids know it, even when we go out to dinner and their friends and partners are there. I remember telling my daughter all the time, put your phone away. Good for her, Chris. When we're out, a lot of my kids have to have, like, 2 out of 3 of my children that are in our household have to have devices or they are miserable. It's not old school, that's good parenting. We have family gatherings on holidays, and half of 30 people there are on their phone. Yeah, it's sad to say, but we are a technology field, and I have to admit that I'm on my phone a lot more than I probably should be, but you can't let it run your life, is the thing. You have to be able to put it down sometimes and enjoy things. Like, just enjoy the company of your children. Enjoy, like I'll have it out to take pictures sometimes, but, like, sometimes there's got to be times where it's like, okay, I'm having so much fun that I don't need to take my phone out and film this, or I don't need to take my phone out and take pictures. And I've definitely been in those instances. So as long as you have some kind of balance, like, my kids are on devices a lot, but they also go outside and play. We go camping, we go to the park, they come outside and play in the driveway, we go ride bikes, we go to the playgrounds, like, we go to festivals. So as long as you're able to get a healthy balance between devices and going out and doing things, they can't be fueled by that all the time. I totally agree, Becca. I'm so glad that my 8th grade is now a senior and will graduate in 2024. Aww. My boyfriend is on what is HISP? HISP. Oh. Sorry, I meant to say my boyfriend is on his phone way too much anymore. Yeah. I mean, me and my husband are on them a lot, but at the same time, we know when to get off them, you know. Elderberry syrup is good to take care of your cold, especially homemade when you can mix in some other ingredients. You can also coat drops of essential. Chairs are always the first to go. We'll have to agree to disagree on the device issue. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, like, don't knock other parenting styles, and I don't, it's not that I disagree with people, I just think different things work for different households, you know? Like, what works for one household might not work for another, but they both work, you know? So, like, I definitely don't, like, I'm not the type of person to go to someone's house and be like, oh, wow. You know? Like, I definitely agree with you. Like, if that's what works for you and your children and all that, that is awesome. That is awesome. But my whole house, my children would have meltdowns, and unfortunately. But I think we also might be from different generations too. My generation, cell phones came around my generation when I was a teenager, like 13, 14. So like half my childhood was like, half my childhood was drink from the garden hoses, ride bikes until the street lights came on, like that kind of thing. And we, you know, didn't, we weren't able to get in contact with people as easily. We had to like ride our bikes to their houses and be like, hey, are you home? Let's play, type of thing. But then once we hit like 12, 13, cell phones started coming out. The internet was, you know, a thing then, and it was like a complete switch. Like, lives became ruled by technology starting then, you know? And then my kids' generation was devices from the beginning, from when they were born. So that's what they know. That's what they're used to. And their friends are on it. And they go to this person's house and they're on it. They go to school and they're on device. Like, they have tablets and Chromebooks at school. So it's like, it's just a complete, like, different, like, I cannot imagine what life is going to be like when my kids' generation starts having kids. Like, what is it going to be then? Will we end the devices eventually? Because who knows? The internet may crash one day, and then boom, we're back to square one again. So, like, it's crazy. We're just from very beginning, no phones, no nothing at dinner table, so it's not an issue. If we have people over for dinner, I let them know the rules, and I've had no issues with it so far. It's funny because now my adult kids are not tethered to phones, and it takes them hours to text me back sometimes. I just think it's important to have that contact with family. Oh, I agree. I agree. It's definitely important. There should be times where your face is not in a phone, you know? Like, you should definitely have that one-on-one time with, and I definitely do that with my kids. Like, we'll do like projects together, or we'll go to the park, or we'll go to festivals, or I'll read to my son at night, or, you know, there should definitely be a balance. I completely agree with that. It should not be like a 24/7 thing here. It's only at the dinner table or eating out. I don't care the rest of the time. Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean that. I didn't even have a phone until I was old. No. Okay. The Nokia phones, I think the Nokia was like the big, like, that was the phone that like started it all. The Nokia phones came out, I believe, when I was like 13 or 12 or 13, maybe 14. But all my friends had them, and I was not allowed to get a cell phone until I was 16. My mom was trying to push for 18. But at that time, like, I had a lot of friends. I would just go out and just hang out with them, and I didn't have a way to contact my parents to let them know where I was and what I was doing. And one day they got really worried. I had rode my bike to the YMCA, which was a pretty far hike from my house, to hang out with one of my friends that was there. And obviously I didn't have a cell phone, so I didn't even know she was there. I was just, knew she worked. I think she worked there. But I went to visit her, and my parents didn't know where I was until I got home. They were like, that's it. We're buying you a cell phone because we want to know where you are and be able to contact you and that kind of thing. So that's how that started for me. That's how and they refused to buy me the Nokia. I wanted the Nokia so bad. But they never bought me, like, the hip new thing. It was always, like, I got the knockoffs. So I got the knockoff Nokia, the Motorola. And it wasn't even, like, it was before the Razr came out. But then once the Motorola Razr came out, and that was the popular phone, I didn't get that one. I got some other flip phone that was not the slim Razr. It was like, I think it was the LG. So, like, I always got the knockoff of the cool thing that came out. So, like, yeah. Chris, maybe this was a little before my time. But yes, I went through AOL. But, hear me out. We didn't have AOL. We had the knockoff AOL. We had Juno. I don't know if any of you remember Juno. But it was the knockoff of AOL. It was like one of the off brands of when the internet came out. So I had to download AIM on my computer, and that's how I could, like, chat to people through AOL, but I didn't have all the cool functions that AOL had. So funny, back in the day, pull rhubarb out of the ground and eat it. I think it's funny. Drinking from the garden hose, and also our toys were jarts. I've heard of jarts. What are jarts? Like, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. Back in my day, the cool toys were Skip It. There was, I forget what they were called, but they were like these ribbons. Okay, they were these sticks with a long ribbon on the end, and then you went like this, and it, like, went like that. We had those. We had Sky Dancers. Those were popular. Moon Shoes were popular. Sock'em Boppers. I don't know if you remember that, but they're these things that go on your fists, and you, like, alright, I have the song, like, going off in my head. What else did we have? I don't remember, but I know Skip It was one of my favorites when I was a kid. But I had old toys. When I was really young, my grandma had old toys left over from, I don't know from what, but I got them, I guess, as hand-me-downs. So when I was really young, I played with the Lincoln Logs. I played with Tinker Toys. And there was this one game where, like, okay, was it called something Stick? Where you had all these sticks, like, in this cylinder. And there was probably, like, 200 sticks in the cylinder. Maybe 100. And then there was marbles on the top of it. And you pulled the sticks out, and you had to try to not get the marbles to fall through the sticks. But I forget what they were called. Were they pickup sticks, maybe? I think that might have been what it was called. I was in my mid-20s when cell phones came out. So yeah, I was barely a teenager when cell phones came out. I think my mom got a cell phone when I was 16, and I was also trying to use hers, so I finally got one at age 17. Hey, Katie! I really got really good. And I love seeing your projects. Very inspirational. Just came from my studio making glow-in-the-dark frogs. Oh, that is so cool! God, I was amazed with AOL. I loved AOL. I would go to my friends' houses and use their AOL. Like, do you remember the AOL chat rooms? I just have ASL, like, ingrained in my brain. But yeah, I would have to go to my friend's house and we'd go on AOL together. But I had AIM, the instant messenger. But yeah, we had Juno. Juno was the knockoff, and I hated it. Gosh, being 54, people must think I'm an oldie because all this technology is just good and annoying. Aw. That's how my daughter was. She paid for her own 70s baby. Yeah, I'm a late 80s baby. I was 87. I'm the generation after I went to school uphill in the snow both ways. Oh. Okay, yes, balance. Yes, balance. Oh, then we advanced to the folding mode. Yes, the Razor, the Motorola Razor. And then when the iPhone came out, the smartphones, yeah, I didn't get the iPhone. I got the knockoff. I did have the BlackBerry though, but I got the BlackBerry like right when the smartphones came out. So I had the BlackBerry with the keyboard, the big fat, yeah. I hated it. I hated it so much. I thought it was the bee's knees when I first got it, but then I was like, this phone sucks. I hate it. Yep, not far away from me. I understand that you let them eat at the TV. Just to be mindful, you can remember to stop for when you're not hungry. Oh, they definitely know when they're not hungry. They definitely don't eat too much. Now, snacking on the other hand, yeah. We've had to stop buying as much snacks because they don't know how to have a balance between a snack and devouring the whole bag. So I have to buy snacks in increments because of that. And the bell bottoms. See, we had the flared jeans, not the bell bottoms, but the flared jeans. But I liked the flare huge. So the bigger the flare, the better. So mine were practically almost bell bottoms when I wore them. But I was obsessed with flared jeans. But I'm short, so they always dragged on the ground. So the bottoms of my jeans were always ripped. And it was awful in the rain. When it rained, the bottoms of my jeans would get wet, and it would get wet all the way up the back of my leg, and it was awful. Let me tell you, when they came out with the skinny jeans and leggings, it was like a godsend for a fellow short person, not having to have my pants dragging on the ground in the rain and in the snow. And even my sweatpants now, all of my sweatpants have cinched bottoms because I can't stand any of my pants dragging on the ground anymore. And roller skating actually came back, but when we had the roller rinks, it was like rollerblading was popular. The what do we call them? Oh my god, I totally forget. Are they called razors? I think our roller skates or our rollerblades then were called like razors or something. But it was really awesome when the rollerblades came out with the like, it was like called polyurethane wheels, where they're like rubber almost, and they didn't go like click clack on the ground. That was pretty awesome. I never had the popular phones. Yeah. I was at the roller skating rink every set. We were at the roller rink all the time, but we didn't roller skate. We rollerbladed. But, we used to have, that was like the happening place for birthday parties when I was a kid, was the roller skating rink. I miss that. And then my daughter's friend, it's come back, roller skating. And she had a birthday party there for one of her friends, and I could only get roller skates because the party was covered only for roller skates, not the roller blades. I would have had to pay extra for that. So I tried roller skating, and let me tell you how hard it is to I give props to you people that can roller skate because it is hard. I'll never forget the sounds of dial-up. Oh my gosh, it was the most annoying sound in the world. They say empty, but they aren't really. Wait, what's empty? Becca, you are the age of my kids. Oh, started young. How annoying would dialing up be now and having to wait for everything? It's not so much the waiting. I could not stand the noise of it. And then if somebody was trying to use the phone while you were trying to use the internet, oh my goodness. It was like the end of the world. Kerplunk. Oh, yes, it was Kerplunk. That's what I was talking about. Yes. But I did have a game of pickup sticks. That was different. Okay, the Kerplunk was the one where you pulled it out of the cylinder. And the pickup sticks where you threw the bunch of the sticks like in a pile on the ground, and you had to like pull the sticks out without moving the other sticks in the pile. Wait a second. Where am I? Okay. The jarts are the long things with the circle targets. We have them still, but they are circle. Weren't they? Okay. Jarts. Back when they first had them, weren't they like, they were lawn darts, right? And they were really dangerous, and they had to like change them, and like you said, they're circle at the end and it's weighted plastic. They used to be like a dart at the end, right? And people were getting hurt with them, so they had to like change them, if I'm correct, right? Yes, Skip It. Oh my gosh, Skip It was like my favorite. I remember that game. That was fun. Roller skating was... Pickup sticks is... Yeah. Pickups, but I had pickup sticks, and I had Kerplunk, and I had Lincoln Logs, and I had Tinker Toys. I played with my Tinker Toys until, I don't know, I played with them for years and years until they came out with Connects. And then I wanted them really badly, so I got the Connects. My daughter is a little bit older than you. That's how I know. Gotcha. Anyone remember the jam lines? I think jam lines was before my generation. But I came from the generation where we had you could get like a separate phone number from like your household. Do you remember the Motorola walkie-talkie flip phones? Yes. And they made that like those. And do you remember Nextel? The Nextel was walkie-talkie too, and they always made this like noise when they went off. I couldn't stand them though, to be honest. I do remember having to call people after a certain time because it was... Yes! When we first got cell phones, I was like, I'm going to call you at 9:30 because it's free. And then you had to text after a certain time too because it wasn't free to text during the day. You had to text like really late at night. With the flare jeans, always having them wet all day. Yes, I couldn't stand that. The original rollerblades were made in Minnesota. I have those wheels on my office chair. I think it's easy. See, I'm the opposite. I think roller skating is harder than rollerblading, but I think that's because I learned how to rollerblade, not roller skate. So it's a different feeling and like a different kind of balance. So I think if you can roller skate, it's hard for you to rollerblade, but if you can rollerblade, it's hard for you to roller skate. Like it goes like hand in hand. My ankles are weak, so the four wheels help me stay upright. See, I have a problem staying up in roller skates. I don't know what it is, but I kept falling. I couldn't get a good balance going on. It was awful. I had fun, but it was awful. Aw, that's okay, Angel. You've got mail. Okay, I remember that. That was what? Yahoo? Right? Yep, Becca. Do you remember Jack's? I do, actually. When I was little, I did have a set of Jack's. I think my grandparents got it for me. The hell is that noise? That sounded like a pig. I think it was like a motorbike, but it sounded like a pig was oinking right outside. That was so weird. Yep, Becca, they were dangerous. My old lawn darts were so much fun. We laugh about it now because we had dangerous toys as kids. We still laugh about it. See, some of my toys were deemed dangerous. Those Sky Dancer things. Okay, so Sky Dancers, they were this like fairy thing that like sat like this in a little thing, and you like pulled a string, and then when you pulled it, her arms would go out and she would fly. they had to make her not fly anymore and just spin, because when she was flying, she was hurting people. So that was one of our dangerous toys that they had to modify. There was several other things. But then, okay, do any of you remember the Furbies? Because that was a really popular toy when I was a kid too. Furbies. And then they would glitch all the time and they would go off when you're not even talking to them. And it would drive me nuts and scare the crap out of me half the time. Remember how dangerous the playgrounds were back in the day? Some of the rides were way too... Some of our playground stuff would be deemed dangerous right now. We did a lot of dangerous things on our bikes too, like riding across intersections. I remember we would ride to the grocery store all the time and cross this huge, busy intersection on our bikes, not even caring. We would ride to our friends' houses all the time without being like, hey, I'm going here. I'm going to be back at this time. We would just leave and then come back later in the day. If my kids did that now, I would have a heart attack and I'd probably be calling the police. I mean, like, my kid's missing. I don't know what's going on. Like, it wasn't as like, our parents weren't as worried as us parents are now. I remember the one playground we went to had metal slides. Oh my gosh. Yes. The metal slides were like fire. There are still a couple of playgrounds around us that have the metal slides. And I'm like, why? The merry-go-round. Oh my gosh. I remember that. Yes. We would try. Okay. The merry-go-round thing. We had this game where we would we'd have like 2 or 3 people on the outside spinning it to see how fast we could spin it without us flying off. And yeah, we could have definitely hurt ourselves like really bad on that. I remember those, Becca. My daughter got one of those caught in her... Oh, maybe that's what it was. They were getting caught in hair and yeah. They were, like, very dangerous. I had the Skydancer, so we always had to watch out for it on the way back down. I stuck my tongue on one of those in the dead of winter, ripped my tongue. Oh my gosh. Pocket pets. Did you have those? The digital pets? The Tamagotchis and the Gigapets and stuff? Yes. Obsessed with those. And I got my daughter one of them for Christmas, and she did not enjoy it as much as I did. But those, oh my gosh, those were my favorite things ever. There was something out, Polly Pockets, and not the big Polly Pockets they have today, like the little Polly Pockets where they had those little, like, it was like either a little heart or a little circle or a little shell or something that would like close shut and you'd open it up. And it would open like this, and it would be like a little like a little scene, and the little teeny Polly Pockets with the like circle feet that you would stick into the little holes. Oh my gosh, I was obsessed with those. I had like probably 30 or 40 of them, and my mom kept them all. And I believe my daughter got into them when she was little and lost a whole bunch of them, so my mom got rid of them all. Yes, I remember Furbies. My sister and I really wanted them until realizing how loud they were. And they randomly went off even covered. Yes. Do you wear helmets? My days... No, we never wore helmets. Never. Although, my kids don't really wear helmets either. we had the little Polly Pockets too. Yes, Chris, I think it was probably 6. Okay, gotta get to bed. Good night, Chris. Aw, enjoy your road trip. I love Polly Pockets. I got all of my cousins' hand-me-downs. See, most of my Polly Pockets we got from yard sales. Back when yard sales were like every weekend, there were yard sales everywhere. And that was the like thing to do, was shop at yard sales. It had ice on it. Not such a good idea. Oh. That's awesome. Yes. Yes. And I try to share my childhood movies with them too. Like, it's nice when they get into something that you were into as a kid. What is your favorite movie? I don't know. I've been really into this the series of Unfortunate Events movie. I've been watching that over and over again. I love my classic Disney movies like Cars and, well, Cars isn't a classic, but I love Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid. The Harry Potter movies are some of my favorites too. But it is getting late. My battery's getting low and I have to pee. So I'm going to get off here. Toy Story or Lion King? Lion King over Toy Story. I'm not a big Toy Story fan. I've never watched. You need to watch the Harry Potter movies, girl. Get on that. But yes, I am going to end this live because I'm tired. My phone's dying and I have to pee. So, yeah, I will talk to you all next Saturday. And I have a Epoxy Creations video coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And good night, everybody. Bye.